In the regular season, some players look like superstars. They drop points, get highlights, and steal the spotlight. But when the playoffs come, everything changes. The lights get brighter, the game gets tougher, and the truth comes out. Who's real and who's just hype? You're about to find out. Let's kick it off with the king of empty stats, James Harden. For over a decade, Harden fooled fans with box score explosions, 30-point triple-doubles, MVP chatter, scoring titles. You'd think he was one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. But come playoff time, Harden turns into a different dude. Not a killer, not a leader, just a guy out there running cardio. Look back at his time in Houston. He had the keys, he had the green light. He even had squads good enough to make deep runs. And what did he do? Game after game, year after year, Harden shrunk. The deeper the series got, the colder his shooting became. Turnovers piled up. The defense? Non-existent. The body language? Awful. And the excuses? Endless. Game 6 against the Warriors in 2018, season on the line, no Chris Paul, and Harden shoots the Rockets out of their best title shot in decades. The next game? Misses 11 threes. They lose again. This isn't bad luck. This is the real Harden. Same story every single time. Gets you hyped from October to April, then disappears in May. But if you thought Harden was frustrating, let's talk about a player who wasn't just bad. He was embarrassing. Jaylen Green. This man dropped 42 on the Lakers in March and had people calling him the next face of Houston. Fast forward to the playoffs, he straight up collapsed. After one good game against the Warriors, he turned into a ghost, averaging 13 points, bricking open shots, playing defense like he'd never heard of the word. This is a dude the Rockets built their future around. Top 2 pick, highlight machine, full-on franchise expectations. And in his first real test, in a playoff series where Houston had the upper hand, Green played like he wanted to get traded. And guess what? He did. That's not a rebuild move. That's a franchise giving up, saying, "You're not that guy, you never were." And let's not pretend this is just a young player mistake. Tracy McGrady, one of the most gifted scorers the league's ever seen. Never got it done when it counted either. Regular season is pure magic. The man was a cheat code. But every single playoff run, first round exit. Collapse after collapse. He put up points, sure, but the efficiency dropped, the clutch moments faded, and his teams never advanced. You can only blame teammates, injuries, or bad luck so many times. At some point, the trend becomes the truth. And the truth is, T-Mac was a highlight machine built for regular season views, not playoff wins. And speaking of guys who fooled everyone with smooth games and empty numbers, the next man on this list might be the biggest playoff illusion in the league today. That man is Paul George. You might know him as Playoff P, a nickname he gave himself, and that's already a red flag. Because when someone has to convince you they show up in big moments, they usually don't. Paul George has the build, the skills, and the stats to look like a superstar. But when the lights get bright, it's like he forgets how to play basketball. Look at the numbers. Nearly half of his playoff games, he shoots below 40%. That's not just off nights, that's a pattern. When his team needs him to take over, he either forces tough shots, disappears for quarters at a time, or turns the ball over trying to do too much. And don't forget, this is the same guy who hit the side of the backboard in a game that could have sent the Clippers to the finals. The side of the backboard, people love to talk about Paul George's skill set, the smooth jumper, the defense, the ability to score at all 3 levels. But what's the point of all that when your team keeps losing in the second round? A lot of fans are finally seeing the truth. Paul George might look like a star, but he doesn't play like one when it matters. Now let's shift to Joel Embiid, maybe the most frustrating case of all. He's massive, he's skilled, he can shoot, post up, block shots, draw fouls. He even has an MVP trophy. On paper, he's everything a franchise wants in a number 1 option, but in the playoffs, he's just another regular season warrior who doesn't deliver when it counts. Every year the Sixers are hyped up as contenders, and every year Embiid either gets hurt, runs out of gas, or simply plays bad in the biggest games. Game 7s, elimination games, that's when he plays his worst. He settles for jumpers, turns it over in double teams, misses free throws, and his body language? Awful. Slouched shoulders, blank stares, hands on hips while the other team celebrates. You can blame injuries all you want, but at some point it's not about being unlucky. It's about being unable to rise when the moment demands it. Look around the league. Jokic, Giannis, Steph, they all have their flaws, but they've delivered deep into the playoffs. Embiid hasn't, and after a while, that starts to define you. The playoffs don't care about all-star nods or scoring titles. They care about who shows up when the pressure's real. And time again, Embiid has let his team down. Just like Harden, just like PG, just like McGrady, and now, just like Jaylen Green. This isn't about hate. This is about truth. The NBA playoffs are the ultimate test. And when that test comes, these guys keep failing. But there's still one more layer to this. Because the problem isn't just them. It's how we keep falling for it. Every season, we hype them up. Sports shows, social media, highlight reels, they all tell us these guys are the faces of the league. We buy the jerseys, we post the mixtapes, we argue over rankings, and then the playoffs come, and it's the same story again. Why do we keep falling for it? Because the regular season lies. It's fast, flashy, and made for entertainment. You drop 40 points in February against a lottery team, and everyone loses their mind. But that's not basketball under pressure. That's not a crowd screaming on the road. That's not a 7-game war where every possession matters. In the playoffs, the game slows down. Defenses are smarter, physicality ramps up, and the refs, they stop bailing you out. That's where you find out who's built for it. That's where you find out who's real and who's fake. James Harden looked unstoppable when the refs gave him 15 free throws a night. When that whistle vanished, so did he. Jaylen Green looked electric when defenses gave him space. The moment they locked in, he folded. Paul George's smooth game doesn't mean much when he shoots 5 of 20 in crunch time. Embiid's size and skill mean nothing if he can't stay on the floor or take over when it's needed most. And even someone like T-Mac, a player fans still worship, never passed the playoff test. 9 tries in his prime. 9 times he came up short. That's not just a coincidence. That's a legacy. This isn't about mistakes. Everyone has bad games, even the greats. But what separates legends from pretenders is consistency under pressure. When the defense knows your moves, when you're tired, when the crowd's against you, when your season's on the line, that's when real stars rise. These guys didn't. And it's not just about points or percentages. It's about impact, body language, effort, leadership. When things go bad, do you fight back? Or do you disappear and wait for someone else to save the day? That's the difference between being a highlight and being a winner. You can call it harsh, but this is the truth. The playoffs don't lie. They expose the fake ones every year. The guys who shine when it's easy and fall apart when it's hard. Some players are made for the regular season lights, others are made for championship nights. And if your name is James Harden, Jaylen Green, Paul George, Joel Embiid, or Tracy McGrady, it's time to stop pretending. The numbers don't lie, the results don't lie. The playoffs exposed you. And for fans who still believe the hype, remember this: regular season stars win games. Playoff killers win rings. Big difference.